Dear students, good morning. In last class discussion, we were talking about perpendicular axis theorem. Today we will discuss about parallel axis theorem. See, basically, what we do in parallel axis theorem means, suppose there is a rigid body like this, alright, and this is the CG axis, okay, and see any axis about which you can rotate, right? Suppose you want to find the moment of inertia about some other axis which is not passing through the CG. Now let us say this axis is at a distance of A. Okay, this axis is at a distance of A. So can we find this moment of inertia about, you are finding moment of inertia for what? You are finding for a mass, right? So suppose you want to find, this is the mass, this has got a mass of capital M. You are finding the moment of inertia about some axis which is xx, and this axis is CG axis. So how do we find? See, this is parallel to this. Now this axis, this is the axis of rotation. Okay, so this axis is parallel to this. So we can find Ixx as ICG plus MA squared. What we should do is, we should first know the formula for moment of inertia passing through the CG axis, and we should add this term which is mass multiplied by the distance square. So this is your parallel axis theorem. Okay, this is your parallel axis theorem. We can I have given you a set of formulas, you see. So just write down this. I have given you a set of formulas. We'll take one example and try to understand how to apply this. See, in that formula list what I have given you, there is a circular disc. There is a circular disc. The circular disc is how it is. It is like this only. Okay. Thickness is very negligible. This is a circular disc. Of mass m, of radius r. Okay, and this is that axis. Now, if you see that formula list what I have given you, the moment of inertia for this circular disc is how much? I is equal to mr squared by 2. Okay. Now, suppose in the question they say, I want to find out about this axis, which is passing through the edge. Which is passing through the edge, about this x-axis, let us say, some axis. So how do we find out? Ixx is equal to ICG plus m into a square. A square is the distance between this axis and this axis. See, this is a circular disc whose radius is r. Obviously, the CG will be passing through what? Passing through the CG axis. See how you are going to rotate this? You are going to rotate this like this. Okay. This disc is rotated like this. So instead of rotating here, if I want to rotate about this axis, you are finding out what is the I value. Simple. So ICG is how much? mr square by 2 plus m into distance square. What is this distance? This is r only. So this will be mr square. So what is the answer? 3 by 2 mr square. If you check that list what I have given you, even this form is also given in that list. So simply by applying the parallel axis theorem, we have come to this formula. So basically, I have to remember what is the moment of inertia when it is passing through the CG. Okay, so make a note of this point. Now let us say, now this is the disc. Okay, and this axis is perpendicular to the plate passing through the CG. Suppose if I want to find the moment of inertia about any diameter, how the diameter will look like? This is our diameter. This is our diameter. Suppose they ask you find the moment of inertia about the diameter. How to do that? So in this case, we have to use the perpendicular axis theorem, what we have learned in the earlier class. See, if I see this disc from top, it will look like this, isn't it? So take any two diameters which are perpendicular to each other. So this is diameter 1, this is diameter 2. Okay? Because they are symmetrical, so diameter, let us say ID1 we will say of diameter 1. This is my diameter 1 and this is my diameter 2. Because they are symmetrical, so diameter can be like this. But I have chosen two diameters which are perpendicular to each other. Okay? So ID1 is equal to ID2 is equal to ID, let us say. Okay? Now you see this. Now this CG formula, what we have, this formula is there, no? This is about the CG. This CG, how it is looking like? This is perpendicular to the diameter. It is perpendicular to the board. You see, this is one diameter. This is another diameter. Let us say. This is another diameter. This axis is perpendicular to this diameter. This axis is also perpendicular to this diameter. This whole plate is in a plane, and this line is perpendicular to the plane. Plane means, imagine this board is a plane. So the axis is going perpendicular to the plane. Okay? I have taken two diameters which are mutually perpendicular to each other. So can we apply our perpendicular axis theorem here? We can apply. We can write, what was the perpendicular axis theorem? Because you are little new, I will write the perpendicular axis theorem. Ix plus Iy is equal to Iz. What is Ix here? It is ID1 plus ID2, because D1 D2 are perpendicular to each other, is equal to Iz. What is Iz here? It is ICG. Okay, but ID1 is equal to ID2, so it is 2 into ID is equal to ICG. ICG is mr square by 2. Okay. So what is I? ID means I diameter only. No? I dia is equal to mr square by 4. Just check the list which I have given you. Even there, even this formula is also there. So using perpendicular axis theorem and parallel axis theorem, we can find the unknown moment of inertia. Like we have first find out about xx, right? Then we have found out about the diameter. Suppose in the question they say that you find about any tangent. Suppose you find about any tangent like this. This is what? This is a tangent. See, even this tangent can be a axis of rotation. See, here about this tangent, this can be rotated like this. See, this is the plate which is kept on the ground. This axis is going perpendicular to the plate. This axis is parallel to this. Okay. Then we have talked about a diameter. So suppose you see from top. Again, I take the same view. Suppose I see from the top, I will find a diameter like this. Did I find a tangent like this? This is my diameter, and this is my tangent. Will you agree? What is the perpendicular distance between them? R only, no? What is the perpendicular distance between them? R. Can I apply parallel axis theorem here? I want to find I tangent. See students, whenever we talk about moment of inertia, we should not remember just some random value. We should know about which axis we know the value. Most of the cases we know the moment of inertia about the CG axis. That is enough. If you know the value about the CG axis, you can find about any other axis using either perpendicular axis theorem or the parallel axis theorem. You have to carefully draw the figure and see about which axis they are asking. So suppose they are asking about tangent. Axis can be anywhere. Axis can pass through the CG, axis can pass through the edge, axis can pass through the center point of these two, axis can go like a tangent. It can be anywhere. Okay? It depends upon the question. So in this case, I tangent, we can apply, you see, both are parallel to each other. We have to apply the parallel axis theorem. So I tangent will be equal to, what was our parallel axis theorem? This was our parallel axis theorem. Here I accepts the unknown axis. The unknown axis here is tangent. I accepts is I tangent. What is here? You see, I told you that if it is passing through CG plus MA square is what you have to do. But here, you know about this axis. You have to convert the value into this. So instead of ICG, you will write here I dia. Okay, I dia plus M into distance square. Okay, so I tangent will be equal to, what is I dia? I dia you already worked out, mr square by 4. mr square by 4 plus M into distance square. What is the distance? R. So it is mr square. So it is 5 mr square by 4. So this is how you apply your parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. So basically, parallel axis theorem is useful to shift your axis of rotation. Just write on this. Just write on that. In more simpler words, you feel, suppose you have a disc like this, okay, you have a disc like this, and this is your CG axis. Suppose I want to find about this axis. So let us say I am just taking some value, about CG is 20, okay, so about this, let us say it is 40, I am talking the I value. I will take some other axis, which is parallel to this. Okay, let us say after calculation I am getting 60. So how I am going to get 60? You can take this, axis, take this distance, let us say it is x, so 20 plus m into x square, m is the mass of this. You can take this also, let us say this distance is y, so you can directly put 40 plus m into y square. Both will be same only. Both will be same only, you will get. Okay. So okay, this is what, because this you have worked out. Now about this axis, if you take, see, this is our CG axis. Let us say this distance is 1 and let us say this whole distance is 3. Okay. So here you are getting 20 plus the, let us say the mass is 1 kg. How much you are getting? Here it is 20. So about this edge, you will get 20 plus 1 into 1 square. Okay. How much you got? Let us say you got 21. Now you want to find out about this line. Okay. I'll just take it. Don't take these values 40 and 60. That I just told. Let us say here this is 20. The radius is 1 and the mass is 1. So about this axis, let us say x1, x2. So this is x1, x1 you call it. You call x1, x1. We will call this as x2, x2. So this is 20 plus 1 into 1 square, it is 21. And let us find out x2, x2. It is 20 plus 1 into 3 square. So 20 plus 9, it is 29. Okay. So this is what you will get. You have to put ICG. You have to put ICG on. So if you calculate this, I x2, x2, if you take this value, how much you got? 21 plus 1 into, what is the gap between these two? 3 minus 1, 2. So you are getting 2 square. You are getting what? You are getting 4 plus 21. You are getting 25. No? You cannot do that. You have to every time calculate from the CG only. You have to calculate from the CG only. Okay. Yeah. But in that case, if you observe the tangent case, what we have done is, so this was your disk. This was your disk, right? And this is the tangent, right? So this is the tangent. So here, where is the CG? The CG is passing through the diamond only, no? So that's why that approach is okay. I am saying, see, this was the disk, okay? You want to find about the tangent. So this is my diamond. Diamond is parallel to, this is my dia, and this is my tangent, okay? But this dia is also CG here, in this direction, because where is the CG of this? It is passing through the center of it. So here, if you want to find out IT, you can write I dia plus m into a square, no issue. Okay, but every time your calculation has to be from the CG only. Just correct my statement, that one, because this example is proving that. This example is proving exactly that. You have to calculate from the CG only. Okay, so if you are calculating about x1, you have to take CG as the reference, ICG plus m into 1 square. If you are taking x2, you should take CG as the reference, and what is the distance? It is 3 square. Okay, so 1 into 3 square. So these two values are right. So, but if you take this as the reference, you are not getting, this is the correct value, this is the correct value. So this you are not getting, no? So this way you should not do the calculation. It is wrong. Take CG as the reference. So this is the point, okay? So this is how you apply parallel axis theorem. So similar is the case with you take any other case. Just write on this. You can calculate for any other geometric shapes, you know. You take a sphere, a solid sphere. Okay, a solid sphere will have a CG passing through the center. Okay, so what was the formula? Here I was equal to 2 by 5 mr square. See, this mr square will be repeating. You have to just remember this value. For solid it is 2 by 5. For hollow it is 2 by 3. You know, like that. Some 3-4 values will be there. mr square is common throughout. If you are talking about disc, circular disc, circular ring, you know, sphere, a hollow sphere, a cylinder, everywhere this mr square will be repeating. You have to remember only this value. So suppose here also is asking you to find about the edge. So this is the sphere and this is the edge. So about the edge they are asking you. So how you will get? Here also Ix's will be equal to parallel axis theorem. ICG plus m into a square. So here it is how much? 2 by 5 mr square. This is the ICG value. So the ICG value is changing. Plus m into a square. What is the distance of the edge from the center? It is r only, no? These two lines are parallel, you know. These two axes are parallel. How you are rotating the sphere? You are rotating the sphere like this. You are rotating the sphere like this. Okay? Like this. So m into a square will become m into r square. So this is 2 by 5 plus 1. It is 7 by 5 mr square. If you see here, what is happening actually? Your moment of inertia is increasing actually. So I told you, more moment of inertia, more difficult to rotate it, isn't it? What is more easy to rotate? You take a basketball, about the center rotating is easy, or about the edge rotating is easy. Just imagine, take the same basketball and think, if you put a finger in the middle of this and try to rotate, that is more easy, or about the edge rotating is more easy. Okay? So these are some of the points about the parallel axis theorem. So next class we will see some more concepts. I would urge you to remember all these equations, all these ICG formulas for different shapes. I have given you how many? I have given you disc, I have given you ring, then disc, then sphere, in sphere, hollow, Hollow and what? Solid. Then I gave you cylinder. Here also hollow and solid. Then I gave you rectangular and I gave you square here. Ring is mr square. This is mr square by 2. This is how much? 2 by 3 mr square. This is 2 by 5 mr square. Okay. And this is mr square. This is mr square by 2. And this is how much? M by 12 into a square plus b square. And for the square plate, it is m by 6 into l square, where a and b is equal to l. All these values you should remember in this format. They are very much useful while doing any numerical, So try to remember them. Okay then, see you in the next class. Take care. Bye bye.